welcome to Rock Studios at Automation Fair. I'm Nikki Gonzalez, host of the podcast Automation Ladies, and I'm with my co-host,
Allie Gilpin.
And we're here to talk to you we've got Justin Gorski with us, OEM manager at Rockwell Automation, and we're going to take a little bit of time off the busy show floor to talk about on-machine solutions. Thank you so much for taking some time with us today, Justin. I know it has been a crazy day.
Yeah.
You just came back from a pretty lengthy engagement upstairs, so I'm really glad you were able to sit with us for a few minutes.
Yeah, thanks for having me chat with you guys here. Appreciate
Absolutely. Well, my first big question is, what the heck is on-machine? What does that mean?
Yeah, so when you think back to control panels, machinery, over the last, call it 120 years, right? We put all these things in a big gray box. So we put little gray things inside of big gray things, and that includes your power infrastructure, your contactors, VFDs, servo, everything, PLCs, it all went into this box. And so everything you did had to come in and out of this thing. So lots of conduits and just, so as we've kind of migrated, we've said, what if we put those machines and pieces of the machine out where you need them? Instead of one central location, put them closer to the action, right? And so there's a lot of benefits that come with that, but really it's about shrinking the size of that panel, and you guys have seen these. Some of them are 3 or 4 refrigerators wide.
Oh yeah, Allie designs those panels all day long.
Yeah, they're massive, right? And the movement of them, the flexibility or inflexibility, like how do you design for spare and what does that look like? You have to factor all that in.
Yeah.
So on-machine gives you a lot more flexibility and again, moves it towards that point of control a little bit closer,
So is that something that's been a big topic? I know you had kind of an OEM forum earlier today. What does that mean in terms of what are customers talking about as what is moving things in this flexible manner down the line on the machine, doing for their business?
Yeah, so right behind us here, we've got a machine from Delcor based in Minneapolis.
Oh,
and the bulk of that machine is using on-machine technologies. So inside of their main panel, they've got their disconnect and power supplies. And then they've got a power supply for their servos, and then everything else goes out onto the machine. So what it is, it's a top-load case packer, so it's got little robots picking and placing things into boxes.
Okay.
And you used to have all these servo amplifiers that were in the machine, in that panel. And so instead of having 16 cables, it's got 16 motors on it, you'd have a bundle of orange cables just right down the machine.
Oh, yeah.
They've got one cable, and inside of it's comms and power, and they can just connect motors where they need them, connect the next one, go down. And so, number one, it's a huge cable reduction, big labor reduction in panel space, which means less air conditioning and other stuff that's going into it, and it allows for flexibility. So the core of it, the top load piece, may always be with that machine. So they go, hey, I'm going to put the controller, I'm going to put the infrastructure there, but then you've got a case erector, so I'm going to form a box.
Yep.
Sometimes they don't sell that piece with it. You've got a case closure that could be glue or tape. Sometimes that doesn't go with it. So now they've got these modules, and when they have them, they just connect the one cable, and boom, it comes to life. Boom, it comes to life. No extra panel build, no extra labor, super easy. And then when you think about shipping it, now all of a sudden having to spool up 16 cables, store them safely, hope the truck driver doesn't hit it with the forklift or whatever else, huge savings there. So it simplifies everything, gives you more flexibility. Maybe they got to add a motor tomorrow, boom, just plug one in and you're ready to go. Same thing with I/O. So we think about, we were talking beforehand a little bit about I/O Link and some of the safety technologies. Instead of having to run all that stuff back to that central panel, it just gives you ultimate flexibility and I guess labor savings, right? And I think about kind of the reconstruction of it. We were talking about VFDs before, and I remember 20 years ago working on panels that were 3 refrigerator doors full of nothing but VFDs, and then all this cable tray for miles and miles with all this cable in it, electrical noise, the cost of copper. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And we go, okay, well, what if we just put that out on the conveyor, out on the machine, and we can just kind of keep moving it along. Maybe we're going to connect our sensors into it. Just cleans everything up, gives you a lot more flexibility. So that's the big business drivers for me.
Gotcha. So I see that really, that's a term that you guys use. We've actually been talking quite a bit about connectorization also earlier this year. So that's really kind of that same thing, right? Reducing that footprint, increasing the flexibility, the modularity. Ali, what questions do you have? I guess.
So what are the names of the products that are,
Names of,
that are for on machine?
Yeah,
that
so
Rockwell offers.
Everything that we talk about in the on machine portfolio will start with the term armor. So armor means on machine, not in a box. So we have like Armor Point IO, we have Armor panel views, we have Armor Kinetics, Armor PowerFlex, so anything in that Armor series. But those were the big hitters there. So VFDs, servos, HMI, and computers, and then IO blocks that go with it, right? So.
And you have some safety?
Yeah,
products?
so an interesting one in that family is a product called GuardLink. So we have a little on machine. It's a little, we call them butter sticks, right? It's a potted piece of plastic, and in that you've got a couple of channels of safety, so you can daisy chain that to all your doors or all your buttons. It'll do actuation and sensing of the door, the safety device. Comes back, and then that talks out SIP safety or Ethernet IP to your controller. So pretty powerful and cool little system we've got there for sure.
Great. Very cool. Well, I guess we've got a packed schedule here today. There's a lot more live coverage coming up, different topics, different experts. Really glad to have had you share some of your thought leadership on this today, Justin. I know it's hard to get time to make the content when you're in the space, that you're in the show, you're having that voice of customer conversations, you're meeting people out on the floor. So if you didn't join us here in Anaheim, hopefully you're here and watching this still, but if you're not joining, you can watch on LinkedIn, and a lot of the great content is also coming out on Rockwell's website, kind of at the end of the day. So follow along, make sure to join us next year if you're not here to catch this content today. But I believe that there's also going to be links in this post to talk, if you want more information on machine, where to get the information, where to find out more. So don't go far. There's going to be another session here coming up shortly. Goodbye from Automation Ladies from Automation Fair. We'll see you next time.